What's that sound? Where? It's aliens and they're living in your town. Damn. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town.
Hello, my fellow weirdos. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Is your microphone on, Denny's?
I'm doing well.
There we go. There's that sweet sounded voice. How are you guys doing? Good? Let's try that again. That did not go off smooth. Good?
Doing well.
Okay, all right.
Well.
Am I grammatically incorrect, Virginia? Vicky?
Yes, you're grammatically incorrect.
I don't know. I'm nervous now.
Why are you nervous, Mr. Beckett?
Because before the podcast, you said a couple things made me nervous about the content. I thought I was off the hot seat.
Oh, you're a little nervous about some stuff. Good. That fear is real. You should follow that
That's
fear.
what propels it all.
Jay Bird's like, you're not going to like the show.
You're not going to like today's podcast.
I feel like Denny's is in on it, too.
Well, I mean,
he knows it.
Yeah, we get information from the same pool, but we were talking about how listeners have been submitting possible questions for the hot seat to make them tougher because they thought you kind of got away on an easy round.
They said it was a bitch boy type of round, and they want to go harder. The people have now come up with 5 new
questions,
hot seat questions. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I got so much shit from this. Like, Beckett's questions were so weak.
But usually in school, you get credit for being the first one to present.
Yeah, you got credit.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Oh, Vicky, the teacher, you're not having it.
That's the kid that doesn't want to go after a really good kid, the one that volunteers first.
No, sorry, Becky, you just not like the show. There's 5 questions that the people have crafted, but just to let you know, this will make you feel better. Vicky's going to get the same treatment.
Okay.
Denny's is going to get the same treatment. I'm going to get the same treatment. The people are sick. The people that listen to this show, they're a little sick, and that's why we love them.
They want blood.
So that means I get 10 hot seat questions?
You had 5 bullshit questions.
You had cold seat questions earlier.
Do you like my bitch boy hat?
I do.
Dude, that's awesome. It looks good on you.
Nice hat. How was your trip? Good?
It was great.
Very nice. Did you save lions and,
I got my
porpoises?
broker's license in California, so.
Very cool.
Are you thinking about moving out there in the future?
Think about maybe spend some time there in the summer, yeah. I like it out there.
Oh, cool. During our podcast. How are you breaking up the band?
I like the vibe out there. Well, I just kind of have some agents there. Give me an excuse to sneak out there every once in a while.
I hear you. Vicky, how's your life going?
The house officially went up for sale yesterday, so that was kind of disheartening to see that for sale sign on the property, and we'll be in probate till October 31st. So at that point, I have to figure out what I'm doing.
You can always stay at Sasquatch Recordings. We'd love to have you. And,
Well, I come with 2 kids, 2 cats, 2 dogs, and a rabbit. That's the problem.
Okay. Well, I love animals. And Denny's looking so handsome. Denny's got a haircut yesterday and was also fat shamed at a restaurant.
Yeah, I got fat shamed.
Yeah. Some woman said he looked fat. She hadn't seen him in like 3 or 4 months. And she's like, oh, what happened to you? You look different. You look like you've gained weight. You look fat.
It's a restaurant we used to always go to. We took some time off and went back, and I seen one of the ladies that we used to always see. So I was like, hey, how's it going? I could tell she kind of recognized me, but then she started talking. She goes, oh, yeah. You gained a ton of weight. Look at you, chubby. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, people really will just, it's so that's the kind of topic I'd like to open up with has social media now started to bleed into real life? And the reason why I'm asking that, because I'm not over here telling you this story because I want you guys to give me compliments back. I don't want that.
Why? Because you're all like thin and in shape
well,
now?
It's funny you say that. We were at Beer Fest.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was the alcohol. I don't know if it's social media.
The full moon probably didn't help.
Denny's couldn't believe it either, but about 90% of the people that came up to me said horrific, just not very nice things about my appearance, how I look sickly, how my gray beard makes me look terrible, and all of these things. And it's weird because I don't remember having an event like that where people were so brazen with their opinion to the point they didn't give a shit if it bothered somebody. So my question to you guys is, like how the woman did that to Denny, she just blurted out what she was thinking without really... Has social media made people more dicky in real life? Is it bleeding out now?
Yeah,
let's go ahead and
I think people have always been dicks. I don't think social media, I think it gives them another platform But I think those same people that would come straight up to Denny's and say, "Hey, you're looking a little fat there," are the same ones that would have done it regardless of whether they had social media.
That would have done it in 1989.
Right.
People would have done the same thing at Beer Fest in 1989.
Right. And by the way, I have had some people come to me and say, "Oh, you know, Jason's lost a lot of weight. I heard he lost too much weight. I've been defending you. I've been saying Jason is looking hot." Let me tell you.
Thank you. And again, I do not want to make this into a Facebook fishing thing because I don't.
And you look strong, man.
I don't. And I'm funny and smart. I'm smart. I'm smart. No, but it is something. Me and Denny's actually talked about this topic before the podcast and said, "Do you want to go into this realm?" And Denny was 100% behind it.
Oh yeah. Well, I wonder if now, like you said, there's always that group of people that will talk shit no matter what. They just will always be dicks to you. But I'm wondering now if the younger generation seeing on social media that it's acceptable to, because you get positively reinforced for a funny quip, despite the fact if it's good or nice, whatever, it could be mean.
Yeah.
And you're getting self-rewarded for that. So if you go to the streets, when you think as a younger child, not knowing that that is an offensive thing to do, because on the internet you get rewarded for it, you do it in real life, now you're getting a bleed over into a group of people who would have not normally done it.
So I do agree with you, Vicky, to a certain extent, but I also think social media is almost kind of like priming that pump a little bit, making it a little bit easier for dicky people to be dicky.
Oh yeah, like I said, it gives them another platform to do that.
I think it's helped a lot. Like there was a big difference before social media in the 80s than how decorum used to be in the 20s though too. So there's definitely been a progression of society to be more dicky and more. I think the other side's more candid, more honest, and there's plus and minuses to that. But I think that for sure it's helped the velocity of it become a lot worse because people, like, don't you feel like you're a lot more brave in text messages to someone too?
You are.
You can hide behind it. Like you can say like you can sext with someone maybe something a little bit more harder than it would say to like
grab that thing, baby.
Yeah, but like at first you're like, I'm kind of too shy to say that.
That's what I'm wondering. Is it's now starting to, is the techie ways now bleeding in the real life?
Well, think about it. If you insult somebody or you want to hurt somebody's feelings, you're looking at their eyes, and it's almost like your eyes say everything. Like you can tell if somebody's nervous, you can tell if somebody's uncomfortable, you can tell if somebody's scared, all by the look on their face. So if you're behind like even just sunglasses, you have like a slight more confidence.
It's a great point.
If you're on the internet, I mean, good gosh, you can say anything you want, and nobody's going to come and pursue you.
Right.
But when we talk a lot about social media on this podcast, I do believe social media is starting to shape the atmosphere in real life.
Yeah. I would say the Denny's thing and your experience as well. You know, I've had experience where I've been like, you know, big and people are like, oh, Ryan's on steroids, or I was skinny and like Ryan's
Ryan
sick.
looks hot.
Right.
We get it.
Ryan looks like a surfer. You're like, how dare you?
Yeah, we get it, Becky. I'm trying to make a point, but also give yourself a
Ryan looks like he rides jet skis.
Not fishing for a compliment.
Oh man, Ryan looks like he's young. Oh, I'm not fishing for compliments.
No, but I'm saying people project. Like people try and take it away from you, right?
They do.
And I think that also people become accustomed to what they're used to seeing. So if they're used to you being like the funny guy, you know, that, you know, is out of shape, you know, taking a shirt off, doing self-deprecating jokes on radio, then that's what they're like. They're used to.
But here's the thing, though. This is like, and everyone always likes to try to tell me how much weight I've lost. This is like the 5th time since I've been on the radio where I've gone up, I've gone down. I am not skinnier right now than I have been, even when I lost weight like 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
And people weren't like that. People, I mean, you see what I'm saying? It just seems like, and I don't want to sound, and forgive me for my bad word here, but I don't want to seem like I'm being a pussy.
Yeah.
I'm more just wondering here, is social media, is it doing something to society? And I personally think it is.
Well, I mean, not social media and its exclusion, but just the fact that people don't have manners anymore.
Yes.
It goes back to 101. Our society is changing. People think they have the right. Listen, if I ask you if you like my shirt, then I'm asking for your honest opinion. If I walk into a room and you say, that's the ugliest shirt I've ever seen, I didn't solicit that.
Well, people like to, well, I just like to keep it real. I speak the truth. You can speak the truth and sort of keep it real, but you don't have to be a dick about it.
And wait for somebody to ask you for the truth. Don't randomly go up to people with insults.
When someone starts going like this, look, I speak the truth. I'm just an unfiltered person. Really what they're saying is, I'm an asshole.
Right.
That's really what it really is.
Totally.
And you obviously wonder if they really are like that because they have to announce it. If you really were that type of person, you would just notice it.
Good point, Denny's.
Well, you know, it's maybe been a little overused and become cliche, but there's emotional intelligence is a real thing, I believe, right? And like you need to know when it's important to be candid and open and honest and forward. And you need to know also when you need to reel it in.
That's a great point. Dude,
Absolutely.
that's called balance, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Balance, that makes so much sense.
Because I almost think that sometimes, for me, sometimes I'm too reeled in. Like, and I like, there's a problem if you're not sometimes candid enough, like the white lie thing, because you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Yes.
And in retrospect, I'm like, man, I didn't want to hurt that person's feelings, but in retrospect, I should have been a little bit more blunt and forward,
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that
It
too.
could go either way.
Because then you end up hurting that person's feelings, whether it's business, friendship, relationship, whatever the context may be, where it's worse, like down the line, or
I think when it comes to matters of the heart, you got to be honest, even if it hurts. Because it's something you truly feel in your heart, and when you feel something that's very strong, and we're talking about like heart issues, emotional heart issues, you're gonna have to get that off your chest.
Yeah.
Especially if you love the person you have to tell that to. You're probably doing it in a way to try to help them eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Now, if they ask, do my feet look big? You say no.
I agree with stuff
There's
like
an
that.
easy one. You just don't. That I would say warrants a
Yeah,
lie.
Jen comes up to you, Denny's. Do I look awful in this? Blah blah blah. Do I look? Whatever.
Yeah.
What do you do?
No,
Yeah.
but the other dress looks better.
For sure. So I mean, there's different ways to play.
Vicky, okay, let me ask you. Okay, you're with a guy and you just got dressed and you think you look hot, but he sees you and he thinks you look terrible. He's not feeling.
I'd phone a friend
Would you? Okay.
and ask for another opinion.
But would you rather have that person be honest with you, say, "Look, Vicky, that looks just awful," or would you rather him go, "You know what, Vicky, you're crushing it. You look great."
Well, I'd like a happy medium. Like Ryan said, maybe
You're
suggest
a happy medium.
But I'm
Good.
Becca just broke her speaker.
Sorry about your car speakers at home.
Okay, but it's weird because people always say, "Give me the truth. I want the truth," and then when you give them the truth.
Because here's the bottom line. If I'm wearing that and I think I look good in it, I'm going to project the type of energy that other people might believe it too. So if I get ready to go out and this person says, "Ew, that looks disgusting," and I don't have time to change or I have nothing to change into, my whole demeanor is going to change,
Yeah.
and therefore my appearance to other people is going to change.
See, I like that answer because it's very honest.
Yeah.
You're right, because I think most people, give me honesty. You look terrible in that shirt. Well, fuck you. Like,
Yeah,
most
yeah.
people are going to be
Yeah.
like
and
that.
there's a lot to being attractive in the confidence level that you carry.
Love it.
For
Love
sure.
it.
Well, I think that also, to her point, you can have a balance, and to your point, you can have a balance. Like, you say you're getting ready to go out, and be like, "Oh, like, does my lazy eye look bad?" And you're like, "Yeah, you look like retarded like that." But that's something that someone has, and it's like they can't change it. But it's different than someone saying, "Do you like this color of lipstick?" Be like, "No, you look like a prostitute. Take it off." And that's kind of funny, and it's like not something that's like detrimental to
Are
their
you trying to tell me something?
their character. No,
I need to take off my lipstick.
It's like, but you know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
If someone's getting ready to go out on stage and they're like, "Hey, like, what do you think about blah blah blah?" You don't like demean, like you don't like hurt their ego. Like that's something that's already existing. So
Absolutely.
you want to make the best case of what already is in existence, right? But if there's something that's not a big deal to change, and like you feel like it's helping them and it's constructive, then I think it's great.
I just look if it's helping them. Like, so if you see, like, if somebody's wearing like a belly shirt or something and it's not looking good, I think you should bring that to their attention.
Right.
But like you were saying, like if you're wearing a sexy outfit that you think and you're going into it with confidence,
Right.
then I definitely would say I would back that up.
Or if you love something like that episode of The Big Bang Theory where she's trying on the wedding dresses and she has all these beautiful dresses and then she picks this really goofy looking wedding dress, but she loved that goofy looking wedding dress.
Yeah.
So
That
hey,
you comes with confidence.
whatever makes her happy.
Plus looks.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with I like your answer, Vicky, because you're right. People are not going to obviously like someone saying, I don't like that shit.
Yeah, definitely not.
We got some emails here. Good talk, y'all. It's good. We've got... we didn't get to this email. I'm interested in seeing what you guys think. Okay, my girlfriend or ex-girlfriend gave me herpes, and she knew she had them the whole time but didn't tell me. Do you guys believe in karma? Do you think karma will get her? I don't want to talk to her anymore. I don't want to see her. I don't want to look at her. Also, would you guys date someone who had herpes if you felt like they were your soulmate?
Well, yeah.
Signed anonymous.
Yeah, if I had herpes or I met somebody that had herpes and they were like my soulmate, I would just have herpes with them. I mean, is it that big of a deal if you know you're going to be with them?
Well, to me, I mean, okay, so there's a lot in that email we got to dissect.
Yeah, there's a couple.
There's a lot.
Couple sections.
Let's hit up.
Dennis just goes, "Yep."
Well, that's the easiest one for me.
We'll attack herpes in a second. Karma. Let's talk about karma for a second. We've talked about karma before. I'm weird when it comes to karma because I think, unfortunately, that's a human kind of a thing. As much as I would like karma to be real, I just have known certain people to have gone to the grave and they never were brought to justice. They did just terrible things. They lived a great life and they died living a great life.
Yep.
Now, on this plane, I personally don't think some people will get their karma. Now, in the afterlife, I can't speak on that. I can only go with my personal experience. I think for some people, they want karma to work because obviously you always want the bad thing.
It's like a justice system.
Yeah, it's justice. My personal opinion, I don't know if karma is 100%, y'all.
Yeah, I don't think karma is an eye for an eye type, equilibrium that happens in terms of like an energy. I do think that there's kind of like the law of attraction and things like that, that just from like just common sense, you help enough people, you're bringing like good into your life and that someone's going to want to help you. And that's just kind of common sense. And I think that by doing good, there's more good to have. And if you screw a lot of people over, like it's not energy, it's not karma, but I think that you're putting yourself in a more likely situation when you're down and out. People are like, no, that guy was a dick to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
or, for example, let's say someone, when they were 25 robs a bank. They got away with stealing all this money and then people lost their job. It caused a lot of problems. That person changes in their life and they become a better person. But they never got caught. No one knows of this. People really got screwed over, and then they die, and that's it. That person necessarily didn't get karma. One could argue maybe the prison that they keep in their mind is their karma.
Right.
But what if someone doesn't have that prison in their mind, and they just, I was 25, fuck it, I was old, or I was young, I stole
they
the
just
money.
Justify move on, yeah.
Does karma get that person? They change their life?
I think if they're like a average criminal, that their life sucks. If they were a phenomenal criminal, they end up having success. Like, look at Wolf of Wall Street. He screwed so many people over, like selling penny stocks and whatever. And now he's like, had a movie made about.
He's a celebrity.
That happens all the time.
And Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie Catch Me If You Can, based on a true story.
He's another guy.
He was a guy that if he was just a bad criminal, he would have gone to prison for a long time. He was so good, the FBI was like, all right, we want to hire you.
They recruited him.
Yeah, exactly.
Vicky, your thoughts on karma?
Karma, I think sometimes just from natural, you keep doing bad, you're going to bring bad energy. Something bad will eventually happen to you. And if it doesn't happen in this lifetime, I do believe you carry it over into the next.
Okay, so that would be your answer for someone who has the same opinion as me, saying, look, I knew this bastard. Right. This guy was such a jerk and blah, blah, blah. And he died with, money and fortune and people loved him and all that. You think, okay, yeah, you got away on this chapter, but the new chapter.
And there's other things that you don't know about people. Like, I've personally been waiting for karma for about 6 years for someone, and it doesn't look like the karma bus is anywhere in the neighborhood, but I don't know every little detail about that person's private life.
Sure.
There may be a lot of things falling apart that I don't know about. They may suffer from depression. They may have other issues that I don't know about. That really is karma in a form. I'm just not aware of it. You made me think of an email I do want to get to today that is talking about depression. Thank you for reminding me of that. Okay, Denny's, let's attack herpes now.
So with herpes, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, karma, same type of thing. I think it's just a different name for other things that you could have.
But as far as what he's saying, I want to.
She got herpes. She knew she had it.
I want to attack the soulmate question because you were going into that.
If I knew my soulmate had herpes, and they told me ahead of time, and I didn't have herpes, and I knew I was going to be with them, I'd just be like, yeah. And that's for your soulmate. Becky, what are your thoughts on that? You meet an unbelievable girl. You fall in love with her. Let's say she doesn't know she has herpes, and she finds out she does. She tells you about it. You've now tested negative, and she still wants to be with you. Do you stay with her?
So, excuse me for being presumptuous, but do you? Well, it's actually a question that I think that is an interesting question. Do I need to have sex with someone to know that they're my soulmate?
No, she's your soulmate by just it's a love you can't even describe.
Do you think you can call a girl your soulmate before you have sex with her?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do. Again, my opinion on soulmates a little different too. I think a lot of people think soulmates that one person on Earth, and I really think that you could have a
You're
few
saying you're clicking.
Yeah, I think, but this is somebody that you've never met this
Don't you
person.
think sex life's important? So what if you really, really clicked with her?
Well,
But,
you can
like,
also
she just like in bed. It was just like
well, let's say
totally awkward.
let's say you had sex with her and everything's great and it was
Yeah.
unbelievable
And
you
I
just,
didn't get it.
You just didn't get herpes, which is possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would. Yeah. I'd be in.
You'd be able to stay in.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Vicky,
Yeah, I mean,
what,
you get some medication.
what are
make
your-
it a night.
well, we're talking about like somebody we say Jen's your soulmate.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't live without her because
For sure.
you love her. If you know,
If she had herb, I'd roll with it.
I don't know. It's like luggage. It stays with you for life.
but so do crow's feet, and so does. So no, I hear what you're saying. You know, there's no wrong answer here. I want to get everyone's opinion on it.
There's
Vicky,
ways that you can have sex with someone that has herpes and not contract it yourself.
I
that
I mean,
would
you
not
could
be a
roll
deal
that
breaker.
dice. If I got him, though, I'd be like, darn, and then I'd move on with my life.
I tend to agree with Denny's and Vicky. If I met someone who if I was in love with somebody and that's your ride or die, and something happened. Now, again, this is not a cheating question.
Yeah,
this is something that it just happens. Which we've got emails like this before where someone's contracted herpes, they weren't cheating, and they gave it to their partner, and that can't happen from a former partner.
Don't you think age is a factor? Like, don't you think if you like fell in love at like 18 and the girl had herpes, you'd kind of be like, it's 18, the chances of me staying with this girl and marrying her probably not that thing. But when you're 45, you're kind of like, all right, like I don't really have a lot of ride or
Absolutely.
die.
I think that's a great point.
I'm sure that
I think that's a
plays.
very good point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because like a lot of people, at 18, I wanted to propose to my girlfriend, right? So like at 18, now we broke up at 20, and now I'm a little less attractive on the market.
Did you actually ask her to marry you or no?
I wanted to transfer to school back home, and my parents. I wanted to go to FAU.
You pig. No.
Yeah, it's funny. Like the first person you date,
I was in it.
like you fantasize about all of
Oh,
it.
well, you think everything is everything.
And
I mean,
then when it falls apart too, you're
Yeah.
like you're crushed.
I drove home every weekend from Tallahassee. 6 hours.
In my 8th grade, I found out that my 10th grade girlfriend was basically banging everybody but me.
Wow.
I was still a virgin, and yeah, it was rough. But I remember being in 8th grade thinking, oh, I can't believe this shit.
Oh, life's over.
My fucking love.
Yeah.
My girl.
Yeah.
In
And then
8th grade.
Then
Yeah.
you realize that happens a bunch of times. So you're
Oh my
like-
God! It's happened to me 97
Yeah,
times
that's what
after.
I'm saying.
I can't believe this shit.
That's why I mean, like I know when you're young, you're going through so much. Your hormones are changing. You're trying to be cool. You're trying to find yourself. There's so much going on in your early youth.
Yeah.
That shapes your future. It's like just getting through that is so tough. And I would tell anyone just stick through it because everything changes once you hit a certain age.
In my opinion, I honestly think that goes into your early 20s. I look back in my entire life, and the most confused and most anxiety-ridden and was my early 20s. I was
Till about 27 or so.
yeah. I for me that was kind of middle school, and that time period were
Yeah.
very tough for me personally. Middle school was a bitch for me, man. I just was not. I wasn't ready to make that change into.
Yeah, adulthood.
I wanted to
from
play with
childhood.
my GI Joes, and everyone's hooking up and left and right.
Plus your body's morphing. You got like long arms, like short legs until
Oh,
everything
yeah.
like meets at the same.
I took the world's worst yearbook picture. I mean, I look like E.T. It is not good, y'all. How was your? Did you take good school pictures, Vicky?
Oh hell no.
No,
No.
I'm
Mine
not
were
gonna.
always awful.
I'm not even asking Fabio over here.
Wait, you should see my bleach tips. I had bleach tips back. Remember when bleach tips are in?
Come
the
on,
yeah.
of course I did.
Yeah.
Come on.
you should bring him back.
Let's see what we got here. You guys want to go into? You want to save? You want to make him sweat a little bit longer for the hot seat?
Yeah, let's
Wait,
do
so
that
I have
the
to go
end.
first again?
Yeah, you're going next.
What?
Thumbelina sent us something pretty cool. Subliminal messages in movies and in TV
Oh, yeah.
shows. So there's a bunch of them. There's one weird one from Back to the Future. It's a little lengthy, so I apologize, but it says the first film offers up several apparent warnings of the disaster for 9/11. For example, while Marty is yelling to Doc Brown about having to warn him about the future, the hands of the clock are locked on the 9 and 11 positions. Furthermore, it is 9:59 when the lightning bolt strikes the clock tower, According to believers in this conspiracy, this was a warning that the first tower would fall at 9:59. The South Tower did collapse that time, but it was in the morning, not at night. Now, that's a stretch, and I apologize to anyone who's offended that had to deal with 9/11.
Well, also, there you could just search it in Google, movies that have the hidden 9/11 messages in them. There's like literally like 900 movies that have secret messages, like where in the background of a shot, a person will be blocking every number except for 9 and 11. It's weird.
And these are things that happened before the tragedy.
All before the tragedy. These are all things that predate it.
They're saying there's something in the Dark Knight that kind of has the same thing about. I mean, and these are all again.
Well, the Dark Knight's
conspiracy
after, though, right?
The Dark Knight was. I'm sorry. Dark Knight was about the Sandy Hook tragedy.
Gotcha.
But that's just. I mean,
I think it's coincidence.
I think it's coincidence.
Yeah.
Of course, it's.
You have
coincidence.
enough content out there, like you can find crazy things out there.
I'm sure you could correspond any theory to something. You could find evidence.
If you had enough people that it was a big enough event, you'd be like, how many movies have 97.9 like in the thing? You know what I mean?
You're
like,
right, and you could find a fair
You're like,
amount,
oh, in
I'm sure.
Groundhog's Day, he wakes up and it says 97.9. Like they knew, you know what I mean? Like there's enough content out there.
But do you guys believe that subliminal messages do exist and that somebody's doing something?
Yep.
Even when we're watching TV, you're just chilling watching The Bachelor, and all of a sudden there's like an eyeball that flies. You know, you don't even see it.
I think
all of a sudden you want to eat eyes.
I think there's intentional like fun things that people do, like, you know, in Disney movies, like they're adult people and they're doing cartoons. Like every once in a while they'll, like, you know, do something. They're creative.
Slide a boner in
But
there.
you don't think there's something in there where it's trying to do mind control?
Well, so if you look up, another thing to look up is how many times they flash the Illuminati symbol during movies. There's almost like every movie made has the Illuminati symbol hidden in it somewhere.
Is that a fact?
That's what, dude. Look it up.
Is that a Denny's fact?
Well, I kind of just got hit up with this topic, but yeah, no. If you look it up, just type it in. You will see all these movies you know, and there's parts where even some of them are super subliminal. Like a TV will be changing channels and they're filming it, and one of the channels for a split second will show the all-seeing eye.
So that's a bold claim.
That's a common one.
That's a bold claim.
The 9/11
Denny,
too is another common one.
I like that though. I would like to challenge everybody to try to look for these eyeballs now in every movie.
So it's
you're
the
saying.
triangle with the eyeball in it is what you're looking for. Dude, just type, all you got to do is type the Illuminati eye movies, and literally a list will pop up where it is in every movie.
So are they doing that on purpose just to mess with people, or are they really part of the Illuminati?
Well, that's the argument, is that the Illuminati subliminally putting messages in to remind people that they're always watching, or is it film directors who love the concept of conspiracy theory and putting them in their art so you don't know?
Vicky, what was your opinion on the Illuminati, yay or nay?
Well, I think there's definitely a elite group of people who control everything.
But to the level we're talking, oh my gosh, Jay-Z and Beyonce, look at the video. You know, they're always, they say they like to attach the Illuminati to celebrities, that, you know, there's subliminal messages in the music.
There was a commercial for 911 on the television right as we were talking about it.
Coincidence?
Subliminal?
I mean, right there, you just proved Beckett's point.
And as far as subliminal messages, you'd have to do a follow-up study to see if anybody's behavior changed after watching these things. It's not legitimate as a subliminal message if there is not an action that follows it.
If it doesn't
so
cause
it's not
anything.
effective.
So, okay, is this
good
a
point.
subliminal message or not? And I don't think it really is, because I kind of know what's going on. So they run this one Coke commercial during the commercial breaks on the KVJ show, and they literally have the sound effect of the soda going in, and I don't even notice at a commercial because I never listen to the commercials, and all of a sudden I am getting a soda. I instantly go to the vending machine and get a Coke or a drink. Is that subliminal, or is that just great advertising?
It's
Great
just
advertising.
It's good it's psychology.
It
It's
is
marketing.
psychology.
It's like Pavlov's dog.
Well, they say that heroin addicts, the high that they get from being on heroin, they can actually achieve almost that same high as they're cooking their drug to inject it, because your body is in such high anticipation of it that it creates a similar feeling. So, I mean, it's the same thing with soda. When you hear the sound crack and the crispy and you picture the soda fizzing, I mean, psychologically, you're like, man, that sounds great, because every time you open a soda personally, you hear that noise and you assimilate it with the joy that you get from it.
And psychologically, every time I watch Home Alone, I have to order a cheese pizza. Because every time I watched it, my son was like, can we have cheese pizza? So I associate Home Alone with ordering a cheese pizza.
It's almost like Pavlov's dog.
There's a movie, I'm sure you guys have seen it, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and there's a scene when Spicoli, Sean Penn, orders a pizza in class. And ever since I was a kid, I have seen that pizza and wanted to just, I mean, it looks like the best pizza ever made. It looks like they've never been a better pizza made in my life. That made me always very hungry as a kid. And there's a scene in the movie Vacation where Chevy Chase is eating a sandwich at the picnic and he's got all these condiments in it, and Aunt Edna says, "You're driving me to Phoenix," and he wasn't expecting to drive her to Phoenix, so all of the condiments fall out of the sandwich, and it makes my mouth water even talking about it. It does. It looks so good to me. Do you guys have any food that you've seen in them other than what you just said, Vicky?
Yeah, the cheese pizza.
The chicken. The chicken and steaks they have in cartoons, back like in Tom and Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's drawn the same way every time with the bone in the center. Those look good, too.
They take the chicken and they just, and the bone's hanging out. As a kid, I was like, oh, my gosh.
In My Cousin Vinny, there's a scene where one of the rednecks takes a whole chicken and sticks it in and pulls the all out with just the bone. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the pizza in that, I don't know if it's real or if it's just like a prop for that show or that movie. But, man, that stuff looks good. It's like a different level pizza.
It was Domino's, wasn't it?
Is it?
I think so.
Well, didn't Domino's change up their game like
they did change
10
up their
years
game.
ago?
But
I think Domino's way better now.
I agree. Domino's was doing the 30 minutes or less thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was
That's why their pizza was shitty. It wouldn't cook right away.
They're like, get that pizza there now.
right. But that was the whole thing of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Were like 30 minutes. Wise man says never pay for late
yes,
pizza.
you're right. Good call. I haven't seen that movie in a while.
So good.
So I've got a few emails about this subject, and my dad was also watching a special on it. I'll get your guys' opinion. Now, there's a growing theory that aliens and some mystical shit's going down in the middle of Earth. In the middle of Earth. And that would explain why you see things like UFOs and possibly even any kind of mystical thing we see on this plane would be accredited to this Middle Earth, kind of like, what's the Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts? Is it possible, because there's parts of, the Earth just on...
You're saying like the core of the Earth. There's like a hollowed out core and people are just like living there.
There's something there going on where UFOs are storing their ships, storing their beings and their ancestors, all that stuff. In fact, to make it even sound a little bit crazier, I kind of left this off because I thought it sounded very crazy, but it says it's got aliens, Vikings living in some type of paradise in the middle of Earth. Beckett,
Yeah.
the skeptic.
Nah.
That's just a nah.
I think at the largest maybe there's some like weird creepy organism worm things that are maybe down there, but I don't think there's any Vikings kicking it.
The Vikings kind of really threw that one for a tailspin.
That's why I didn't want. I kind of want to leave it
Aliens
off.
I get, but Vikings?
Vikings lost credibility. I didn't like it either. But I do want to talk about, instead of Middle Earth, I don't think the concept and the sightings have gone way up. UFOs and aliens that can totally live in the water.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same concept of the Middle Earth, technically, really.
Living in the center of the Earth.
Yeah, I agree. I think the center of the Earth, when you throw Vikings in there, that's weird.
But, I mean, how far have you ever dug?
That's the other question. Vicky, you being the educator, the brains of the podcast, why, how deep have we gotten to Earth?
Well, so I think there's the deepest hole somewhere in, like, I hate to say the wrong country, but like Siberia. They found like this super deep hole, and they showed a graph of how deep it goes. It doesn't even go like 14% into the Earth.
I mean, there's got to be shit way in the middle of Earth.
But how would they get in and out of there? How did they get there in the first place? And how do they, if they're stuck there, who cares if they're really there? And my thing is always, how did they get there, and how did they get out?
They could have burrowed a porthole. Who knows what they've done? They've done. I mean, if they're in the middle of Earth, they clearly have skills we do not have, and that's always been my theory about aliens living in the ocean. They have gills. They're able to hide ships in there. I mean, there's parts of the ocean we haven't been to.
But we can prove that the ocean sustains life.
Agree. Oh, the Middle Earth thing.
Yeah, Middle Earth is.
I'm getting away from that as well.
There,
But it does. It makes the question: hey, what is in the middle of the Earth? Could there be some weird shit? Could there be?
Well, you can always put could, but the likelihood is not.
I wonder if there's
though?
like giant centipedes or something.
Yeah, why is the likelihood not there, though?
Well, just because of what the Earth is made of. And again, you're talking about something not having an exit at all, being self-contained. Well, think about it. Where would they come out of?
Well, maybe there's a part where they're able to find an opening and find it, an exit that we can't get to.
Nah, that to me is
Really
more
losing Vicky
unlikely.
on this one. Really losing her.
I googled it. Kola super deep borehole, deepest place on
Yep,
Earth.
that's exactly it.
They drilled at 40,230 feet. The project started in 1970. They wanted to go to 49,000, but the temperature got so high, negative 356 degrees Fahrenheit, that they couldn't go any further. It would have predicted to go up to 572, and they couldn't because of the drill and everything like that. They couldn't go that.
With the risk of sounding like I'm really high, what about fire people? What if they were like creatures?
sure. Well-
I know it's out there and I know it's crazy, Vicky. You're looking at me like I'm insane. But if we've never gotten to a level, how could we know possibly what's there?
I don't think you can absolutely say positively it doesn't exist, but the likelihood it doesn't.
Anything that we know about life, fire kills any kind of life.
So they estimate that from the surface to the center of the Earth is 4,000 miles, estimate. The deepest hole, the one we just read about, is 7.5 miles. I mean, that's like...
There's a lot of room, y'all, for some
There's
weird
so
shit to
much
go
room.
down. I'm just saying.
And none of us have ever been there.
Well-
We read in a textbook that there's a magma core.
People, are gonna think I'm crazy. I can't believe Bird went on so long about Middle Earth people. But the bottom line is, my boy Denny's just came up with it. You're right. We don't know. We
Well,
have
that's
no
what I'm saying.
idea.
The deepest hole is really not even that deep. And what else is kind of cool? If you think magma is kind of what propels all life on Earth with water, because magma will come out of the ground underneath the ocean, and that creates lava beds and coral beds that eons of building and then slowly turns into mountains. And then once it's exposed to air, it becomes insanely fertile. Things grow on it. Plant life, vegetation life, and fish life all thrive around magma. So there has to be some sort of healing or birthing process to the magma core, and we come from the sun. So I mean, you wonder if part of the sun got trapped in the center of the Earth after the collision of Orpheus.
If this was a movie, this would the part you hear like the narrator go, all of a sudden, Denny's was making some sense.
But I'm just saying, so magma is supposed to be very fertile. So I mean, you could argue there could be anything down there.
Do you like that name for a kid, Magma Pennington?
Magma? Magma does that.
It doesn't sound good. It sounds about as good as Middle Earth people.
Magma's hard to say too all the time if you say it like 3 or 4 times in a sentence.
Sounds too much like MAGA.
Yeah, or manga.
Manga.
Okay, let's see. Here's an interesting email. Calling a few people out on the show. Dear Weird and Whatever.
Does that mean everyone except Jaybird?
I was so disappointed. I went out to Blue Martini to see the entire crew from the Weird and Whatever podcast to sing Ghostbusters. They talked about it. They all committed on the air, and they weren't there. What happened? I'm going again this Friday. Are you going? I'd love to meet Bitch Boy Beckett in person.
Is it in West Palm?
It is in West Palm.
Okay, I'm in.
We've heard these lies before.
No,
Vicky?
I actually have organized a little birthday thing for me Friday at Cocktails and Karaoke, so I have some people coming. So
Is the band
yes.
getting together?
So yes, I will be there.
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters. When there's something strange.
I'm gonna wait for people to hear my voice on Friday.
Oh man, we gotta practice. Oh, something strange.
And it
they
don't
look
look
good. And it don't look good. I don't know. we gotta practice, y'all. Actually,
Yeah.
we don't. Here's how we practice. We all do a shot, and we just go up there and wing
Yeah.
it.
Have you
That's
read the words to that song?
one of the worst poorly written songs I've ever read in my
Really?
life?
Yeah.
It's, really? Are you questioning?
It's pretty catchy, actually.
It's
Well, it's
catchy.
catchy, but read the words,
It's
man.
catchy, but it ain't. It's not Imagine.
It's so good.
Yeah, no, that's a jam for sure.
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
Well, at least it doesn't sound like a dated song at all. It sounds like this.
It's got bum, 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 bum.
Should
It's
we
got like
have
a super
requests?
80s
Should we have
bass.
requests from the people
Well,
as to what they want us to say?
Yeah, I mean, we can totally do that, but I just think Ghostbusters really. I mean, that's us. That's
No, we'll definitely sing that. I was saying
And you-
in addition to.
yeah. What else is there? What's other scary?
Ryan, have you heard me sing? Do not ask
I'm
the people
excited.
to
Oh.
get us to sing.
We'll do
It's so-
Monster Mash.
It's so
No.
funny. People who don't do karaoke always think you have to sing like, "Hi, they're gonna take my microphone out." These are drunk. They're so drunk, and they just.
I know, but there's some good people.
They are. You're right.
So some really
You're
good
right.
people when I've been there.
I completely agree, but there's also some terrible people
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
make
And most of them are on
they
the
make
show.
music videos. Denny's and Jaybird.
Oh, this ain't about. This ain't-
Ringers.
We're not ringers, but we're not very good. But my point is, let's just go and have some fun, baby.
Okay.
But there's some other songs we could sing that are, you got Thriller. It's a 7-minute song. We should do that. It's always a good karaoke move.
It's got like a 36-second intro.
No, I don't think the actual song's 7 minutes. The video was.
For sure.
I remember as a kid waiting for that video to come on MTV when they
Same
played
here.
music and going, holy shit. Or you turn on the TV and the beginning part just came on. Like, I didn't miss it.
That
Yeah.
Smooth Criminal, man. Both of those I like waited to watch.
Yeah.
Well, even better, I waited for the Betamax version of Thriller to come so I could play it in my Betamax. and watch it
Betamax,
over.
man.
Okay,
they said
so-
that one never got its just due.
If you're listening and don't know what Betamax is, you got to Google it.
Yeah, do the work.
Let's see here. This is kind of a long one, but Dear Weird Whatever, for the past 3.5, I don't know if that's years or weeks. Let's just say weeks.
Units.
I have a recurring dream of my ex-boyfriend. It only happens when I'm in my REM sleep. In my dreams, we have either been civil to each other or arguing about the relationship. I end up waking up feeling very sad. The backstory is he cheated on me. I found out about it through a friend. He got engaged and married within a year of cheating on me. Oh, that's rough. We've never spoke to each other, so there's never been closure. We went to high school together and connected through Facebook. I moved on and don't ever think of him unless I'm fully asleep. Most recently, the other woman was in my dream, which is so weird and whatever to me. What does this mean?
Obviously, she has unresolved issues in regards to being cheated on. It could also be, I don't know if she's currently in a relationship, but maybe it's a warning sign of her current relationship. And it's her subconscious giving her a warning.
I kind of think it's the first answer you gave.
I think that's why I gave it first.
Well, Kevin just had this one article he read that the human brain has to finish a puzzle. They have to have resolution. It drives you crazy. The majority of humans have to have resolution. It's like when you watch a show, you get pissed off if the resolution's not there. That's why I don't like that one murder show, the missing one, because you watch it and you get invested and they still don't find the people.
Some people try to be artistic too with that, which is annoying. They're like, there's no, like, they leave like
It's up
these,
for
like,
interpretation.
loose ends.
Oh, I hate the interpretation shit. You got to spell it out for me.
Right.
That's
You're
fu-
the one writing the story, not me.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah, give me my finale.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny that you said that because I found an article about how to get rid of, when you get a song stuck in your head and you're just like, I can't get rid of it. It's because the mind actually wants resolution. So they say a way to get rid of it, it's called the Zeigarnik Effect. The way to get rid of it is to listen to the end of a song so that your brain can get the finality from it and then you can move on from it.
I mean, someone is just salivating for some Denny's facts.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, no, it's an interesting point. I do agree with Vicky. I'm not big on the dream stuff. Well, your boyfriend might be cheating on you currently, or your girlfriend's doing this. She's sleeping with the boss. Because I think dreams can be so goofy. Sometimes I think they are meant to give you a message. Sometimes I just think it's nonsense. I think we, as humans, have no idea what the shit is going on with our dreams. I'm fascinated by the whole sleeping process. I think we haven't even tapped in to what really the whole sleeping and dream stuff means.
I would love to be able to, like, when you go to bed, to actually, you could
Record.
record and watch back your dreams. That would be awesome.
You know, I asked that question about 8 years ago on the KVJ show and got laughed out of the room. Do you think we'll ever be able to record our dreams? Oh, come on, Bert, you're stupid. Now we're getting to the point where I asked that question the other day. Oh, I think it's going to happen. No, I think we're going to probably start recording our
Shows you how
dreams.
fast things change.
Oh, yeah. Well, could you argue we are now living in a period of time where things are changing way quicker than they ever have in the history of human existence?
Silicon chip, man. Ever since that moment, technology doubles every year in capacity.
I know, you could ask somebody living like in the 1820s. No, they'd probably think they're living in the most cutting edge time.
Oh, yeah.
But
Especially when they had steam engines and stuff.
But the bottom line is, you've not seen society change so quickly. And I mean, even from the 80s to now, the idea, if you were in 1985, if you thought you would be able to walk around looking in a box, talking to somebody across the globe, you would have said, that's some outer space shit right there.
Yeah.
There's
for
an
free. For free, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Back then
yeah.
you paid for a long distance phone call. You had to wait till like after 9 o'clock, and now you can do all that stuff to
For
another
free.
country for free.
Technology just seemed like it was progressing, but it was kind of at a slower pace. Now, the 3D printers, Pizza? 3D printed pizza? What?
There's an episode of there's a TV show and it's real cheesy. I think you can find it on Netflix. It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. It was like live action Mario Brothers guys, but they would play Mario's cartoons. Well, there was an episode of Mario and Luigi where they cracked the code to make portable phones where people could talk on the phone and walk around, and it's taking place in the Mario world. And everybody's on their phones and they're getting hit by cars, they're getting kidnapped. All these terrible things are happening because they're just all on their phones. And that's such like a look into the future, a premonition from, because you think with any technology like that, anything powerful like that, it is going to be exploited, or it's going to be used incorrectly, or people are going to get hurt using it.
That's why Black Mirror is amazing. We talked about that, right? Black Mirror,
great show.
Because
modern day Twilight Zone with a twist of technology.
Because it's not like super sci-fi, but it's like 20 years out, like something that's all within
the near future.
I feel like it's 20 years from now.
Yeah, and it's all kind of cautionary tales, and like it makes you think, like, hey, like, this could be a consequence of where we're going in this direction. Like, think about it.
Well, I mean, they always warn people about, people thinking, oh, she's a witch, drown her. That mob mentality. People have, there's writings and teachings about beware of the mob mentality because wrong people can be persecuted, and we have had so many of those warning signs, and the same shit is starting to happen on social media now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy to get a witch trial now. It's off with their head without people...
Without any doing
facts,
evidence,
the days of getting facts and getting all the evidence are bye-bye. It is trial by Twitter, and that is everybody and their mother should be scared of that.
We think we're evolving, becoming more civil, handling matters more delicate matters more effectively, and you could argue we're digressing in certain...
I have never lost so much faith in adults ever since I started seeing how adults handle themselves on social media. Grown-ass motherfuckers are just saying the worst shit back and forth to people.
Yeah.
And these are people, you go to the profile, loves church, has 3 kids, a school teacher. You're like, what the shit is happening?
You're totally right.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
totally right. People put everything up now.
I know. And I'm not downing people that want to share stuff. I'm just saying it is getting weird. People are if you think it's going to stop with just people coming after you on Twitter they'll go after your family, they'll go after your job, they'll make shit up.
Well, now you get internet harassment.
Yeah, it's a real thing. And obviously social media is without a doubt getting people fired, or people so many people lose their job just by saying something stupid on social media.
So this is a pretty funny story, and I won't mention the name, but one of my buddies was getting a job at this top level security firm. They're a high level security firm. They're supposed to handle all these matters without... It's just like a super secret covered group or whatever. His first day on the job, he puts up a selfie chilling at work, and it shows like all this super secret work shit behind him. And he literally got fired within 1 hour of having this job.
Oh my God.
Okay, I want to put that question out to the people. Can anybody beat that story as far as the quickest of being fired? You have an hour, you say?
Yeah, he had his feet up on the desk taking a selfie at his security job. And there's all these things on the wall behind him that are like these cases.
Oh, jeez.
It was pretty awesome. That's pretty good. That's a good story, Denny's. Wow. Yeah, I just it's just weird. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, just watch out what you're putting up there, because people are going to use that against you at some point in your life if they want to.
If you got some shady shit you wrote back in, I don't know, 2007, you need to take that shit down.
If you made any sort of jokes, take them down.
Okay, I think it's time for Denny's Random Facts.
I like it.
I thought we were going in a hot seat there.
No, I just want to make Beckett sweat a little bit more.
Why am I first again?
Because Beckett, people came up to me at events. They were physically grabbed my arm.
And marks on his arm.
Beckett got off so easy. The next time that he's in there, you gotta get him in there. Don't even start with Vicky. Beckett's gotta go back on me. I mean, that's Denny saw it.
It was rough. You gotta get put back on the seat, man. People want blood.
They want you, man. And you don't have to answer if you don't want to. You will be judged harshly if you don't. But you don't have to. I mean, if you don't want to give any money, because we are changing the rules on that. That's you don't have to give $100 if you don't want to. I mean, who cares about the kids, right, Becca?
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, Denny's.
It's a lose.
Stew on that for a couple minutes. They're not that bad of questions.
Well, since we're talking about the kids here, Dora the Explorer teaches English in all languages, except, of course, in America. Funny enough, Dora the Explorer will teach you English to every country. The only language that Dora the Explorer does not teach is English. Isn't that weird?
Vicky, what I would like to do for this segment now, I would like you to grade Denny's on every factoid.
Get out of here.
No, I think that makes it fun. You'll get a filter, Vicky.
Yeah,
What do you give
that one's a C.
Oh,
All right.
man.
What about this one?
Vicky? Oh,
Okay.
man.
We're talking modern lingo. We're talking digital age technology.
Bring
I know.
it. You gotta bring that
I got a
shit.
teacher now, so had I known. OMG, what's that stand for?
Oh my God.
Yes. When do you think was the first documented use of the term OMG outside of internet times?
Crucifixion.
Oh, hopefully not. Right? The correct answer is 1917.
Oh.
The first documented case of the term OMG in a letter to Winston Churchill from Admiral John Fisher.
Use the acronym.
Yeah, use the acronym OMG.
Miss Vicky, we need a grade.
That we went up. That was a B+.
Oh,
Because you had a little history in there, so I like
Look
that a
at
little better.
That's what I do. I try
Look
to
at
bring it
Churchill
all-
being basic.
This is good.
He was a
A
basic.
basic bitch.
So when you go into a dark room, a pitch black room, you guys ever been in a pitch black room where you have your eyes wide open and you can't see anything?
Hell yeah, we have Denny's.
Well, thanks, man. Well, if you ever have, they actually have a term for that color you see because technically black is not a color. Black is the absence of all colors. So technically, we only use the term black to identify somebody's clothing or something or a color. But technically, it's not really a color. It's an absence of color. And the actual term for it is engregra, is the actual term for pitch black, pure blackness.
Like Negra.
Engregra. It's like I'm guessing it's Latin.
Latin,
if I had to guess.
Okay, Miss Vicky, what do we have for that one?
That would definitely win you some points on Jeopardy. So that's a strong B+.
Ah.
'Cause you could use that on Jeopardy.
Keep in mind, though, this is definitely not Jeopardy. We're more like a Wheel of Fortune kind
Engregra
of
for
group.
1,000, please. Do you guys know what they call a group of flamingos? They have a term. You know how if you see a flock of birds,
Yeah.
a school of fish,
Give it to us.
they're called a flamboyance. That's pretty fun, right? And also in that same vein, would you guys know what they call a group of pugs? If you have a whole slew of pugs,
What?
Puglies.
they call it a grumble of pugs. That's pretty fun.
That is fun.
That's
All right,
pretty fun.
Vicky, Miss
Those
Vicky.
were fun, and my daughter loves pugs, so I'll give that one an A.
Oh, look
wow.
at that shit. All right, Dennis, give us one more good one. But really knock us in the dirt, baby.
This was just kind of a cool tip I found, just in the vein of just cool random facts. If you ever, you know when you're in public and you're sitting there and you can feel like somebody's watching you, but you can't quite catch them watching you. You know, you're like, I know that person's looking at me, and every time you look over, you just can't tell. A way to prevent that or to identify who's watching you is pretend like you're yawning, because the person watching you will subconsciously want to yawn, and then you just look through the crowd for somebody yawning.
I always yawn. If Beckett starts yawning right now, I would instantly start to yawn. It's crazy how
Well, you're
we do.
supposed to, because if you don't, that means you have no empathy for anybody, and you're actually probably a serial killer.
Oh wow.
What,
Yeah.
did Vicky just trump Denny's facts with a greater
I give her an
fact?
A on that one.
Oh man!
Yeah, it proves if you physically see someone yawn and you don't, that shows you have no connection to another
That's
human
actually
being.
my next fact, but
I mean,
no, just
I don't want to
kidding.
say it, but Vicky just mic dropped your ass.
All right, whatever.
Good job, Dennis. I loved it. That was very good. Mr. Beckett, we don't have to do the questions if you really don't want to.
I mean, bring them. What?
If you don't want to.
I feel like we should do someone else and then come back to me.
I mean, these
You have them already queued up.
I do have questions queued up, and they could be. We could do them. No, these are pretty Beckett driven. Yeah, these questions. We won't do it. I'll give you.
Let's do it.
I don't know. We'll wait because I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
Why don't you give him one, since you have like other 5? You could do, if you're ready to do someone else for the hot seat, give him one and then go to the other hot seat, or you just give him a reprieve.
No, this is all pretty much Beckett. I mean, okay, I'll let you know the most benign question we have.
Okay.
Okay. How many times do you masturbate a week?
I think it depends.
Are we playing? Are we playing this game?
He's playing.
Are we playing this game?
I would say if you're single, it's probably once a day. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, my
No,
God.
you personally. You're not making a general statement for
Well,
the
I'm just-
population.
I like Vicky's
They are
really-
asking you for details.
I'm just assuming. I'm just assuming that everyone does the same thing.
Absolutely not. The way I
Once a
masturbate
day.
is definitely different than the way Beckett masturbates.
How do you know?
Something tells me I do a little bit more than you. What? Yeah, Vicky's right. This isn't about an overall universal way.
It's a Beckett way.
It's a
Well,
Beckett
I've had
way.
a lot of long distance relationships.
Well,
so.
currently, right now.
Last week.
Yeah, last you had to give
Last
us your
week.
number.
I was traveling last week, so it wasn't as much because I had to share a room. With
If
buddy
this,
and-
if this is the way it's going to go, I think we need to table this discussion.
I would say on average 5 times a week.
Okay, I mean that's a fair question.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
That
hard.
wasn't hard, was it?
Oh, that's what she said. That's what she said.
Not for long.
Do you want to keep going?
Sure.
Okay. Some of these are kind of gross. Keep in mind, the people wrote these.
Okay.
The people, they
Well,
always.
because they're on my ass. They're too weak. Yeah.
So before we go any further, who's next and when's it? Like you're going next. Who's going next?
Okay. Here's very good. Vicky will go next. The people will write the questions.
Okay.
And again, make them as crazy.
Yeah, they're like way too easy on
Remember,
me
I had
sometimes.
10 questions.
Vicky says you're way too easy on her. I like. By the way, big fan of Spicy Vicky. I like it.
Well, the thing is, I'm an open book. They just better be careful what page they turn to.
Oh.
This is gonna be great when I run for office in 20 years.
I told Denny, I told everyone I could never run for office, or I could run for. There's so much scandal.
Yeah.
Right?
It either work for me or really work against
Right.
me. Okay. And this one's actually very benign,
Okay.
but it got a lot of. This actually was submitted several times. Who would you bang between Jaybird and Denny's, and why, if you
Oh.
had to?
I'm gentle.
And that's not that uncomfortable of a question. Me and Denny's are way cool with this.
Yeah. We're gonna take it to heart.
I don't know.
Who's gonna give Becky what Beckett needs?
I mean, who's gonna give you the more loving? Bird will be passionate.
You guys are
about
really
it.
competing for this, aren't you?
Oh.
Well, I mean,
It's without a doubt. It's me, hands down, because I am gonna go the distance, baby.
he's a
I'll-
workhorse. He'll put it in.
I'll do it all.
But-
Beckett,
I'll be there for you on those cold, dark nights. I'll be there for you.
I'll be there on those cold, dark nights. Not only dressing up with whatever you want. I'm gonna make you a nice chicken pot pie. I'm gonna make that
I'll make
belly.
you kale.
I'll make that. Oh, that's right. I'll make you kale. No, no, I won't. Fuck that. All right, Denny's.
I
you
don't know
win.
why, but I think I'm leaning Denny's.
What?
Yeah.
I'm too much woman for you. You couldn't handle my shit.
I'm gentle and fierce.
You couldn't handle my
I
game.
feel like you're too much of a freak. I usually like that.
I'll
But
dress up like a sex robot for you. Okay. I'll save that one. This one's kind of gross and vulgar.
okay.
Have you ever had sex with a girl who was on her monthly friend?
Of course.
I cleaned it up a bit.
Of course.
Of course, he said that with ease.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Okay, so if y'all gonna get mad, not you guys in the room, but the audience, if you're gonna get mad about weak ass questions, you got to blame yourself because these are yours.
That was easy.
Okay.
Man, after the herp question, that was easy.
Have you ever had a
Take a shower.
Have you ever had a threesome?
Yeah.
Bragger.
I bet it was hot.
There's no win. There's no win.
Well, so what? So it was a girl and another guy. What was the guy's name?
It wasn't a dude.
Oh, okay. It was two girls. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
I don't know why I assumed it was you. I don't know why I assumed it was one of your bros.
It was me and Tim. We were having at it.
Did you guys make eye contact?
Why did I go there? Like it's Beckett and one of his buddies.
I don't know. Are you sure you didn't write these questions?
I did not. Okay. Let me see. You have to. This is a tough. This is an awful one. It's the last question, I think, too. If you had to sleep with your grandmother or your
jeez.
mother in their prime, who would it be?
Ooh, in their prime though.
In their prime.
I think I'd kill myself.
Okay, that's not an
No.
option.
I think the grandma's more disconnected. Like it seems like further away.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Beckett did a good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm glad you did.
That's,
You
I mean,
gotta-
that's a tough question.
That
Right
is a
there.
tough
See,
question.
wasn't
Once we
bad.
got him through that first one where he was trying to
Well, he thought
edge up.
I don't know what you thought I was going to ask because those aren't like technically the average person does not like to answer. Would you rather bang your mom or your grandma? Like those are kind of
Yeah.
weird questions.
Yeah.
Even the masturbating question's kind of a tough one for
I'm a
people.
pretty open book.
Okay, like you're taking now, but you're plagiarizing. That's Vicky's line.
I mean, I'm the only one. I've answered 10 hot seat questions now.
Again, look, I'll tell you in the room, and I'll tell everyone listening. Bring that shit. Go ahead. Try to make me shake. Bring the heat. I'll go last.
All right.
Bring the heat.
So to go Vicky, then I, then you.
Yeah, that's how we'll do the hot seat. The other thing, too, the reason why I wanted to do the hot seat is we looked at our latest numbers. We have a lot of new listeners, and which is great. It's a great sign. And I want people to get to know your personality because, you know, it's fun.
Now they know how much times I masturbate.
You guys can ask me that question anytime you want. Does anybody have anything to bring to the table before we wrap this thing up?
Yeah, speaking of having more listeners, so my friend, she's in Shanghai. She's here hanging out with Angelina.
Is that her in there?
Angelica, yeah. So we have Bitch Boy Beckett, happy birthday, BBB, from Shanghai.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they actually recorded a message for him.
Yeah, you can hear.
Okay, we gotta do that again. What was that?
It's that happy birthday thing.
Oh, okay.
But it's
It. It's a big group of people in Shanghai, and they made a sign for my birthday last week.
I got friends in Shanghai too. I'm lying.
Who?
I don't. No, I have a couple friends.
It's a Shang line.
The most exotic place I got friends from is Jupiter, Florida.
We're going global.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man.
That is very cool. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
So we can celebrate your belated birthday this Friday and Vicky's current birthday this Friday at Blue Martini.
What day does your birthday fall on, Vicky?
It's actually the first day of school for teachers. It's the 5th.
Ooh.
Oh,
The 6th, I mean. So that means pretty much it stinks. So that's why I'm doing mine early.
This is awesome. If you do like the Weird Whatever podcast, we would love to have you guys out there at Blue Martini.
Yeah.
And we'll take some pictures, and I'd love that. It'd be
What's
awesome.
the shot? What kind of shot?
What
You're a fireball guy, aren't
No,
you?
I'm a Jameson guy. I like whiskey.
Pickleback?
Ugh, pickle. No, I don't like pickleback. Why would
I haven't
that?
tried one of those yet. I heard it's
so-
not as disgusting as it
Oh,
sounds.
so good.
Yeah, I heard they were good. But
Like kale, I think people have tricked themselves into thinking it's awesome. We'll have some fun. We'll get weird with it. Denny's,
Yeah.
Vicky, you guys.
in case you're taking my menu, I like lemon drops.
Okay.
Lemon drops are a good one to.
More of a tequila.
Count-
lemon drops a good one to not get drunk on.
Yeah, you're right. You got to drink about 9 of them.
Wake up so hungover.
You guys, you're good. Okay, we're gonna sign off. We love you all, and
Bigfoot is
real.
What was that? What? What's that sound? It's aliens and they're living in your town.